going to present my project Redesign Kanto for Modern Lifestyle. So here are the sketches and design process. I started off with making drawer and making the tray to have mechanism so it can provide more space. But after midterm presentation, I got uh, shaped up by all the Ajahn. So I changed my design and I decided to cut out the mechanism because the problem is if it has mechanism, first of all, it's very hard to take care and it's very hard to clean. And cleaning is something that is a big problem for restaurant owners that I have been interviewed with. So if it has a mechanism, it's going to be even harder to clean than before. So it's going to be more complicated. So I think that it is better to have like a simple design with no mechanism, but can still provide more space and can still have storage for tablewares. So those are basically my function. So the thing is, if you look at the picture of, let's say, one tray, so it's going to come out like that in the first place, and it's for 1 to 2 person. So basically, the tray can serve around 4 to 5 dishes, and um, when it comes to two trays in a picture of two trays for 3 to 5 persons, you can unattach the tray from each other, as you can see from the picture that says space providing. So space providing is like when you put it together, there is a space inside of the tray. So that space for keeping tableware, like a set of dish that you are going to see in the next slide, and some spoon or napkin. Um, so it's basically easier to clean, easier to use, and also easier to stack up, easier to store. So that is like one of the biggest problem that at first, when I presented, it kind of got lost and I didn't solve that problem. But now that I interview more, I kind of uh, driven into this part of uh, space saving, and that is when you store. Basically, you can only stack like the regular one, and that is a problem for restaurant owner. And they told me that if I can redesign it to be easier to, you know, get more space, that would be better. So basically, these two trays that you see that design, they are have a similar design, but it's has different proportion of the leg, so it can put it together, like attach it together, and it's it will save more space. So instead of stacking up one by one, it can like become two and two and two. The inspiration is from Gratip, which is one of the dish in Kanto, and it a container for sticky rice. I got inspired by how it attached to each other and how it's separate when it's necessary. So as you can see, the material that I'm going to use are rattan and light wood, but I'm going to play with different colors, so it gives more a modern vibes to it, like in this picture that I sketch the dimension. So the tray is going to be 12 inches. The circle is going to be 12 inches, and because it reduced from the regular one because it had to be able to put it on a table for two, and the height is 13 centimeters. It's also reduced because we have to sit on the chair and eat it, so it has to be reduced. So the type of dish I'm going to use, you can see in the third pictures, I'm going to exactly, not like exactly, but I'm going to use these divided serving dishes to be able to contain more food instead of the regular bowl that because of the circle tray, it reduced the size into 12 inches. So if I use regular bowl, it's going to contain less food than these divided serving dishes in the third pictures. So I really want to provide more space for food. So on the tray of my design, it's going to have 5 dishes in one tray. And if you come like 3 to 5%, you take out and attach the tray from each other. It becomes 2 tray, and so it becomes about 10 dishes. The type of food that are serving on kantok, we have side dish, we have soup, and we have chili dip. Um, so basically, if you can see in the third picture, in the middle, it can, I, I'm going to provide it into two bowls. Like I'm going to put a, um, I'm going to divide the middle bowl into two bowls so it can contain two chili dip, and then one plate is going to contain soup. One plate is going to contain side dish, which are like sausage, fried pork, and one plate is going to contain veggies, and one plate is going to contain sticky rice, as you can see. So, uh, if you look at the sketch, I decided to create a pattern that I got inspired by cram pattern, and loincloth or pakoma, and I redesigned to be modern. And I'm going to use this for the set of bow. I'm going to have it print or painted. Yes, I got inspired by cram pattern and pakoma. So the survey questions or product testing, I divided it into two parts for restaurant owners and for users. So the first question I asked is personal question, type of restaurant, type of food serving. So uh, majority of the owners are casual, having a casual dining, is the owner of casual dining restaurant, and 33% are fine dining restaurant. So I asked the second question is what is the biggest problem? And they say that mostly the problem is the way of storing and the way of cleaning and the way of uh, the regular one is unadjustable. So the height and the proportion is not suitable for sitting on a chair. So I reduced that. I reduced the height and the size. The third question is, do you think the new design that I designed can solve the existing problem? The majority of people say yes. They think the new design can solve the existing problem. Uh, do you think the new design is suitable for a modern lifestyle? So majority of people think is suitable for modern lifestyle. And the flip question is, uh, what, how much do you think should it be sold? So people mostly say that the new design should cost about 500 to 1,000 baht. So the second one is for user. I asked similar questions. First is the personal question, age, and how often do you have kantok meals? So uh, majority of people are 21 to 25 years old, and uh, they are not, the participants are not very often have kantok meal, and they, some of them provide a reason because it's not suitable for eating, like if you are not go traveling, it's not suitable for eating in like a more, in like a general restaurant, like they don't comfortable taking off their shoes, sit on the floor and have a kantok meal. They want a regular meal they can, that they can sit on the floor and have it. The second question is, I asked them what's the problem, and yeah, that's I that I mentioned, that they have to sit on the floor. I think is a problem. Uh, third question is, do you think the new design can solve the existing problem? Majority of them say yes. Do you think the new design is suitable for modern lifestyle? Again, majority of them say yes, and they say that it should cost about 500 to 1,000 baht, which is the same price as the owners say. Cost estimation is, the raw materials, they use fake rattan, and for 100 pieces is about 40,000 with raw materials, with which is red, fake rattan and light wood, and also the um the ceramic uh dish set is also included, and the woven person that I hired. So it becomes, at the end, it becomes 100 pieces. It cost about 72,000. So each one of them should cost not more than 1,000. So uh, I put 720 baht, but I'm not very sure about it. So that basically my uh, presentation. Thank you for your um, attention. Thank you.